What is up, guys? Right here from Team Armored, bringing you more content on GameSense guides. This time we are covering Canon. I'm going to cover defense first. Defense has its ups and downs. I would say this map is more of a defensive play map, meaning if you get the defense spawn first, or say you get the pick aside on this map, I would choose defense first, because if you could stop them on the offense can be a little harder to pick up rounds in. So I want to pick up as many rounds as I can in defense first. So let's cover Site 2 and all the do's and don'ts. This is a don't. I mean, players play here. If you can get here, great. But if you're playing against a good team, you're not going to make it here in time. They're going to run with their pistols out. They're going to be here already. And if not, the scope will be here already waiting to pick you. Bad idea. Bad idea to play anywhere inside this half of Gen. From me to this wall to this half. Bad idea to play inside here. Even if you play passively here, it's horrible, because the sound, even sounding alone isn't enough when there's three people busting through this Gen area and you can't cover all sides. So a better resolution to that is sitting here. This is pretty decent cover. Believe it or not, and this is a headshot line here, lining your crosshair up on the pipe itself. Basically what you want to do is you just want to crouch and you want to just wait for the headshot to come around. Say you miss, this whole area is headshot if you're crouched, as you could tell. So don't be afraid if you miss that first shot. Just, you know, get the headshot, because you can get it there. There's nothing wrong, no reason why you can't. Say you got that headshot and there's two more coming in. First place you want to look is kind of up here. You don't really want to peek out here, because now you have three ways to cover. You just want to cover these two areas because it's really easy to go back and forth. You know the headshot line. And you just really want to cover this area as thoroughly as possible. I mean, if you did a sweep and you go, okay, there's been no sound, so I'm just going to check to make sure he's not shifting over here or something, that's fine. But, I mean, sitting in this area is really bad because, I mean, number one, it's pre-aimed from that location. And it's just, I don't know, you're too far away from things. So, in my opinion, that's a no. And in this area, this is nice, but, you know, what are you going to do when your scope's here at this connector trying to help you? You're standing right in front of all of his shots. So, it's controversial to play there. To cover more things inside too that you guys need to be aware of, is playing a rifleman here is a bad idea. I don't care how well your headshot lines are. I don't care how fast you could tap. I don't care what your mods are. Don't care. It's not even a play style to play here as a rifleman, because more likely than not, there will be a scope here. And you know, I've played here in pubs, and you know, I'll maybe check here in a match or in scrims or something, but I won't physically defend here. You're worthless. Okay, yeah, you might land a shot, you know, from someone coming this way, and you might land a shot coming this way. Say you, best case you do, then what? You know, you don't really have any coverage. Let scopes play at these ranges. Don't think that, oh, me being in here, my buddy being in that one, or whatever is a good idea, because rifle shouldn't play this area. Scope should typically be playing there. If you want to play a rifle, you want to play close to connector where you can help, this would be a better option. You're outside sight, which is a bad thing, but a good thing is that you know they're coming. So if you already have somebody up here, this is a really good place to kind of be at. If scopes are pushing this side with you, it could be a problem. Remember my rule, don't ever peek a scope twice. Don't give them another chance. If you go out and you're like, oh shit, there's a scope, just go to a different spot. There's no reason to stick around, because all you're going to do is give him more time to generate enough time to get the pick on you. Playing here is a nade spot, which I will show you later on. But playing here can be very aggressive. Say your teammate's down there at connector to 2. Your scope's in connector to 2, and let's say you stack 2 because they pushed it, you know, hella hard, and you have a guy over there in the corner. He calls out, you know, 3 or 4 guys coming stairs. You're there. No doubt about it. You're there. You see the nade spot. You see him throw the nade. You know, he's coming around the corner. You kind of line up the headshot. This is a weird angle too, but you still can. Should be roughly around here somewhere. And what you want to do is you just want to try and get a pick and back out. There's nothing else to be done. When you do your job and you pull your own weight on a team and you go kill for kill, that is your job. Period. You don't sit here and go, oh, I'm a hero, I'm man mode, I'm gonna get 17 kills and my team do nothing, I'm gonna carry hella hard. That's not what this map's about at all, nor any map. As far as playing defensively at one, sometimes I will run a scope here. It really depends on what sites they're pushing and how hard they're pushing them, and if we're playing seriously or not. But scopes typically play here, and remember what I told you about the range. You don't really want to be, this far away. You really don't. Not since the not since the anti-macro patch. You don't want to play here. I would definitely play somewhere a little more universal. Like hugging this wall here, for an example, you can be easily headshotted here. So don't think I could just peek and kill people. No, you just gotta do a sweep. You gotta keep things in a decent motion when you're peeking. Don't think you're 100% safe because you're not. I like to play around here too. This is a really nice spot. I can kind of see and get behind cover quickly. And very rarely will I play this back wall here, just to kind of throw them off a little bit. Maybe I'll get a headshot there and come back around and try and help my team out as much as possible. I see a lot of pros run this strat where they have a nade out already and they're running through here. They pretty much hug this wall and then they kind of aim for this portion of the wall right here so they can bounce that nade, and it should go right behind the bookshelf, which is nice. I mean, if you can practice enough and get it off, and maybe even an MK nade there would suffice. But, I mean, as far as actually playing here is kind of risky. This is a little bit more risky, and then this is your riskiest position. If you're not that great of a shot and you're just trying to help your team out and go 1 for 1, this is where I would suggest you do it at 1. Reason why is because the lowest amount of pre-aim that you have to do, the better, because, for the most part, you'll see them coming. And as long as they're on your screen, you have an equal chance to kill them. But you can make that chance way more to your side by making them peek you. So instead of you going like this to kill them, wait for them to come around the corner and you kill them. Pretty much that'll increase your chance by 25% at minimum. Playing back here as a rifleman, as I've previously stated, can be a really bad idea because we're at that range gap here. It's really hard to land those consistent shots on somebody from this range, especially if you're new to the gun or new to team play. But this is definitely where I would go if you're having trouble on a map, or this map. This is where I'd go to defend. As far as playing mid, sometimes I'll stick a sniper here just to kind of make sure they're not just going to rush right through. Keep them scared, maybe send them there around, change the spot, a different location. Because once they see a scope here the first round, typically they don't really peek there, especially if you got a good scope. But as far as, playing your scopes wisely, this connector is a really nice position to play at. It's very versatile for a scope. And like I've said over there on this back wall here, it's a really nice position for a scope to play. So overall best position for scopes to play is between here and there, because you have so much map control here. It's unreal, because you could be at 1 in an instant, 2 in an instant, and mid in an instant. It's good. You don't really want to stick a scope anywhere else. I mean, you could surprise them in other places, but is it really worth it? As far as the nade spot, I promised to show you, if you haven't seen it in the other videos, pretty much what you do is, say you cleared this, you have a scope here, already cleared connector, and you have a rifleman, on these stairs getting ready to push in. It's a situational nade, and if you still have it, that's great. You just basically want to line up on this area somewhere, and you want to aim for this line, crouched, and then what you want to do is pull that nade, stand up, and throw. What that's going to do is that's going to eliminate the pre-aim area here, which creates a small opening with proper communication, a small opening for when you throw that nade, this guy can push up because he knows he doesn't have to pre-aim that area anymore. Unless that dude's going to come flying around the corner, which I doubt. He'll either die by the nade or he'll back up. So he can come in and know that he only has to pre-aim this area here and this area here. and Site 2 is taken. So that's definitely something you guys should be looking into, is communicating with your team and giving yourself proper nade points, and nade communication is huge. It's critical. This is a great lockdown part of the site for when you actually have the bomb set. Number one priority is because you could sit right here. Scopes typically don't scope this early around the corner, unless they're hard scoping at you, but you should be able to see them first. You don't really want to peek this area, and there's a lot of useless places to sit. Like when this bomb set, you don't want to be sitting here. It's just stupid. As far as offense goes, it's very complicated. This site's always going to be a split push site, or this map's always going to be a split push map. Either you're going to split and run 4 men this way, or you're going to split and run 4 men this way, and the one oddball out, keeping the enemy confused, or you're going to send X or X. You're never all going to go, okay, let's push 2, so let's 5-man push 2. It's absolutely unnecessary. It's too cramped. It's too small on both sides. You'll get wiped very easily. There's not enough places for the bodies to cover. Not enough places for your eyes to stack. So it's useless. You might as well cover more ground and gain more map control and negate their flank above anything else on this map. So say we're pushing. You need to watch out for the scope that could sit here. He might make it there before you do. It depends on the scope spawn. It depends on a lot of different random things that happen throughout the game. Just know that you should be pre-aiming this area above anywhere else. You should always have a guy watching here while another one pushes this area. Team communication on this map's huge. It's just absolutely critical. If this guy even looks away for a second and gets picked, and you're in the process of getting over here, now you have to shift from this spot to try and clear this guy, and then someone else has to take that place. It's just a crumbling snowball if you guys don't communicate. So, say this area's covered. This guy's going to move in here and try and get the headshot on the guy here if he's there, or the headshot on the guy if he's here. So let's say, yeah, this is covered. Don't go over this pipe. It's a clear indication. Unless you're making so much fucking noise already and it doesn't matter, don't ever jump or go over this pipe. Or don't jump, period, if you're going to be playing seriously. Like, if I'm sitting here and I go, oh, it's not doing it now. There it goes. Oops, I accidentally made some noise. I might as well just go fucking jumping around. That makes no sense at all. No sense. But, these are obvious pre-aim areas. If you can, smoke it so that way you and your teammates can get through here. And remember the nade I showed you there to get into Site 2? That's pretty much what you want to worry about. And you want to, cover all the pre-aim areas. I know people sit here. I know people sit here and here. Cover those pre-aims. As far as pushing 1, which is slightly less complicated, it's a pretty straight shot. Pretty much what you want to do is you want to send your scope either one of 2 ways. You want to send him here to try and pick the scope at connector here, which that scope will beat you here. There's no doubt about it. So, be careful of the MK nade that could be thrown here. You could put your scope here, or you could put a rifleman there and have him not peek and just hug that wall just to cover it. And what you could do is you could send your scope here to be watching this location here, maybe getting a pick or 2 picks here. Just kind of trying to cover this area. It's got nice cover. This is wall bangable, by the way. So it's pretty decent. As far as rifle play, I always send in the scope first and then the rifle later, depending on the strat. But for rifle plays, your headshot line's roughly around here, this little blue line here. Well, the end of the blue tile, the start of the white tile, somewhere right around there. So I guess you could say, yeah, roughly right around there. And it does not match down there. It's only because of the angle that you're at down here. The angle down there, because we're at the same floor level here, is going to be roughly right about here. Roughly, I'm going to say right where that tile kind of splits there. And you want to be looking generally in that area right there. And that's roughly the headshot line. Most people crouch here, so all you have to do when you line up a headshot line on flat ground, you line up the headshot line and then you just crouch. and you'll be at you'll be at the exact headshot line. But for the rifles that like to cover, their scopes well, or the rifles that like to loan out, this is the strat for you, because pretty much what you do is you have your scope there, he's covering. There's a nice pre-nade spot right here. You just line up at this pipe and throw. And, as your scope's covering that, you have rifles pushing up ahead. That person that would have been there is now gone. So now you have two pre-aim areas. If you communicate wisely and you have rifles pushing here, you can cover this area and this area. You can cover them both from this area. But as your rifles are pushing in, you can notify them, hey, the scope moved back to spawn or whatever, and you guys can push in and take sight. Worst case, say your team's not getting the picks they're supposed to or whatever, just smoke it. That's all you gotta do, smoke it, and they run in, and it's pretty much taken care of itself. As far as places that I would play, as far as defending Site 1, it can be, like I said, it can be kind of complicated, but I will never play here. This is just a bad spot. Number one, it gets naded by the enemy team because people think that people stand here for some reason. And because you have one pre-aim, two pre-aim, and an entire base to sweep. No thanks. I'd prefer to stay back and kind of maybe hold just this area, see if somebody's going to come from connector 1 and try and swing up mid. Maybe get the headshot if I can, and swing over to this way, and just try and stay in a comfortable area as long as you are being covered. If it's just you left, I've seen people play here, which is really nice, because you could sound, you could turn, you could look. I mean, you have a 6, but you can hear. I mean, unless they shift, you're pretty much screwed. But as far as watching this site, they shouldn't be able to see your shoulders, nothing, until they come around that corner. And scopes rarely scope in at this range this way. They'll scope the other ways. So you got to sit where you're going to be least expected. I'm not saying that you should camp in corners and be like, okay, he'll never expect me here. No, that's a pre-aim area. You want to be in somewhere where he won't expect you, like here. Or, this is a common spot that people get picked at. I normally sometimes even sit back here because I can hear him coming from both ends, and I could just sit here. For a scope to hit the shot's incredibly hard. If he's like strafing and looking this way, if he hits me here, I'm a little suspicious. But other than that, that is pretty much how I will play it. I don't typically play insight because it's footsteps away. I can hear him. I can hear him go in. I can defend it from there. So definitely that's one of the best places that you could play at. As far as nades, I warned you guys about this nade here. Where people throw it, and it's like perfect timing as soon as you get there from the other side. And I've shown you that nade. There really isn't too much else that you really need to know about this map. Everything else is going to be an experience basis. One last thing I would like to cover is that no matter what you do on this map, it all depends on team play, map control, and sustainability. The amount of weight your team can carry on their own all depicts whether you win or not. It has nothing to do with positioning on this map, because really there's not that many positions to play. It's not like, oh, I was out of position or whatever, or oh, I'm lagging, or whatever. Whatever the case is, it all bottoms down to the main concept. Was I doing headshot lines? Was I doing the correct nade spot? Is the nade hitting where it's supposed to be? Did I inform my team fast enough? Am I doing call-outs? Am I telling my team where I'm seeing people or hearing people, or where I think people are going? Those are all huge, important things that need to be covered on a team basis. And in order for you to ever become, a competitive player, you need to have team play. You need to understand that, if someone's being stubborn and doesn't cover one way, you're probably all going to die. It's just the way it works. But other than that, have fun, guys. Enjoy the tips. comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think about these Game Sense guides and if I should continue doing them. I'm pretty sure Aslan is next, but I'm gonna put out a poll or something for you guys, see if it's actually required or not. Hell, I might just do it just out of boredom. I guess just let me know what you guys think. Peace.